Well, welcome to the 700 Club. Today is a glorious day, and I'm hearing this incredible rumor that it's Charlene's birthday. They say it's your birthday. Is that true?
It is my birthday.
It is
oh,
true?
my gosh.
Oh, my God.
It is.
So you're going to have a good time today?
I am going to have a fantastic day, thank God.
What's on the plan?
Honey's got something special planned for tonight. I don't know
Honey?
everything. Yes, I call him Honey Love, my husband.
Honey
Hey,
Love.
Honey. That's his name, Honey Love.
That's his given name?
Leon is his given name, but I call him Honey Love.
Hi, Leon. Welcome to the show. The whole world now knows that you're Honey Love, and that's awesome. Should I sing Happy Birthday? We can actually sing Happy Birthday now without getting sued, which used to be you could get sued. There was this claim of copyright ownership, so should we sing together?
Hey, let's go for it.
Yeah, you don't want to hear me sing. No, I can't hold the tune. But anyway, happy birthday.
Thank you so much.
All right, we've got some news for you. Vice President J.D. Vance is in Israel to advance the peace process. While he's expressed optimism that the ceasefire will hold, he's admitted there's a very, very tough task ahead.
That's right. Meanwhile, Hamas still has not laid down its arms and is regaining strength in parts of Gaza. CBN Middle East correspondent Julie Stahl has more.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and his wife Sarah welcomed Vice President Vance and his wife Usha at his office Wednesday.
In the last year, we've had an unmatched alliance and a partnership with the United States. That is changing the Middle East, and it's also changing the world.
We have a very, very tough task ahead of us, which is to disarm Hamas, but rebuild Gaza to make life better for the people in Gaza, but also to ensure that Hamas is no longer a threat to our friends in Israel.
On Tuesday, the vice president announced the opening of the Civilian Military Cooperation Center near Tel Aviv.
You have Israelis and Americans working hand in hand to try to begin the plan to rebuild Gaza, to implement a long-term peace, and to actually ensure that you have security forces on the ground in Gaza, not composed of Americans, who can keep the peace over the long term.
Vance repeated President Trump's warning that Hamas must disarm or be obliterated. Nevertheless, he says he's optimistic about the peace deal.
If we get from where we were a week ago to a long-term, durable peace between Israel and Gaza, there are going to be hills and valleys. There are going to be moments where it looks like things aren't going particularly well. But given that, and given the history of conflict, I think that everybody should be proud of where we are today.
Alex Trayman, CEO of Jewish News Syndicate, told CBN News Vance's visit is important because the U.S. needs to assess the situation on the ground and in the region. For Israel, they have to wait and see what happens with Hamas.
They're still a terrorist organization, and we have to watch and wait. But at least what this does is isolate Hamas, both in the international community and inside Gaza, and putting Israel in a position to finish the job if need be.
As for Qatar, Trayman said it's important for people to understand they're not peacemakers.
They're actually the protectorate of Hamas. Turkey also, promoting the Muslim Brotherhood. They have their sights on Gaza. They would like to see their influence be the next influence that fills the vacuum in the Gaza Strip. It's going to be incumbent on the IDF and hopefully with the United States' help to make sure that doesn't happen.
Overnight, Israel received 2 more bodies from Hamas. Ari Zalmanovich and Tamir Adar are both from kibbutz Nir Oz. Zalmanovich leaves behind 2 sons and 5 grandchildren. Adar is survived by his wife Hadass and 2 young children. Inside Gaza, Israel believes Hamas has about 20,000 fighters left, including new recruits. The IDF put out information on Hamas's Arrow unit, which operates as a secret police-style force to suppress Palestinian opposition to the terror group. The unit has about 1,000 armed operatives who maintain power through terror, surveillance, and executions, sometimes filming its violent acts to share on social media as a form of psychological warfare. In an effort to protect civilians in Gaza and warn Hamas, Israel laid down a visible yellow line in Gaza to indicate its line of withdrawal and the beginning of its military zone. Meanwhile, in biblical Samaria, hostage survivor Avi Natan Or received a hero's welcome in his hometown of Shiloh. Julie Stahl, CBN News, Jerusalem.
Well, I hope the pressure is still on Hamas. That's where the problem really lies. The I think it's unfortunate the administration is sending a picture to the world that they're putting pressure on Israel to maintain the ceasefire. The pressure should always be on Hamas. I wish there were visits to Qatar. I wish there were visits to Turkey. Those are the two main sponsors of Hamas. They're the ones who vouched for Hamas, that Hamas would abide by the ceasefire. It's clear they're not. It's also clear that they want to hold on to power, hold on to their arms, and they're more than willing to kill Gazans in order to do that. Let's recognize who we are and who's on the other side of that peace treaty. In other news, the second meeting between President Trump and Russia's Vladimir Putin is now on hold. John Jessup has more on that story from our CBN News Bureau in Washington. John?
That is right, Gordon. President Trump explaining to reporters that he does not want to have a wasted meeting and that he'll reveal more in a couple of days. The White House earlier had said it had no immediate plans for the meeting, which had been announced for Budapest in coming weeks after a call between Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Russia's foreign minister. Russia still is demanding that Ukraine hand over the Donbas region as part of any peace agreement, a non-starter for Ukraine. Overnight, Russia launched a massive missile and drone attack on Ukraine, killing 6 people. Well, the United States military continues targeted strikes against alleged drug traffickers in the Caribbean. President Trump is vowing to cut off aid to Colombia, accusing its president of being an illegal drug leader. CBN National Security Correspondent Caitlin Burke reports.
Colombian President Gustavo Petro rejected Trump's accusations, describing himself as the main enemy of drugs in his country. A statement from the Colombian Foreign Ministry calls the comments, quote, a direct threat to national sovereignty. Still, President Trump isn't backing down.
They make drugs. They refine drugs. They make cocaine. They have cocaine factories. They have no fight against drugs.
This latest escalation follows a series of U.S. strikes on alleged drug boats in the region, the most recent this past Friday. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth posting on X that the vessel had connections to a Colombian terrorist organization and carried a substantial amount of narcotics. Pentagon Press Secretary Kingsley Wilson tells CBN News the U.S. military is defending the homeland at the direction of the president.
Every single one of these boats that is struck, countless American lives are saved. These individuals are narco-terrorists. They're trafficking illegal narcotics all over the hemisphere, poisoning our people, and it has to stop.
This is the 7th confirmed U.S. strike, leaving a total death toll of 32, while also raising questions about the administration's use of deadly force.
All of these people have been blown up without us knowing their name, without any evidence of a crime.
I can tell you that we know who these people are. We know what they're doing, where they're coming from, where they're going. There is absolutely no doubt that these individuals are narco-terrorists. One of the recent strikes was a semi-submersible submarine. You don't have a semi-submersible submarine if you're just a fisherman.
The U.S. military has amassed a large buildup in the Caribbean, including ships, fighter jets, and more than 4,500 Marines and sailors. Naval Station Roosevelt Roads in Puerto Rico also recently reopened. Friday, the administration released new images of military demonstrations off the coast of Venezuela, where it's now conducting, quote, training missions.
If you are a drug dealer, you're going to think twice, 3 times, 4 times before you go on a boat to traffic drugs to the Caribbean. So what we're going to see is a reduction in the inflow of drugs to the U.S. temporarily.
The pressure campaign has some questioning whether it's part of a broader strategy to oust Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro. Manhattan Institute fellow Daniel DiMartino, the founder of the Dissident Project, tells CBN News the Maduro regime and the Venezuelan drug trafficking organization are one and the same.
We either keep boats and military strikes on the Caribbean perpetually, or we stop the Maduro cartel once and for all, which is not only about drugs, it's also about illegal immigration, it's about crime, it's about Russia and China.
The Trump administration has repeatedly said it does not recognize Maduro as a legitimate head of state, but rather the leader of a drug cartel. In August, the administration offered a $50 million reward for information leading to his arrest. Caitlin Burke, CBN News, Washington.
Thank you, Caitlin. Well, we're now in the 22nd day of the government shutdown, marking the second longest in U.S. history with no sign of compromise. In a show of unity Tuesday, Republican senators had lunch with President Trump at the White House a day after the Senate rejected the House-passed short-term spending bill for the 11th time. Meanwhile, Pennsylvania Democrat Senator John Fetterman said he supports Republicans using the so-called nuclear option, overriding the Senate filibuster to reopen the government.
Today I'm calling on every Senate Democrat to stop the madness. We've got to get our government open, and the Democrats are trying to keep it closed.
Democrats continue their demands for Republicans to reverse Medicaid cuts and extend health care subsidies that will expire soon. The Senate holds the next vote to advance the funding bill later today. Well, while Washington remains divided, college students across the nation are coming together to worship. Some 7,000 students turned out for the latest Unite Us event, this one at Grand Canyon University in Phoenix, Arizona. They came for prayer, worship, and to find meaning and purpose. The ministry reports 4,300 rededicated their lives to Christ, 58 new commitments, and 251 baptisms. More than 2,600 said they're interested in taking part in college ministries. The next Unite Us event is in Cincinnati on November 5th. Gordon, something clearly is happening on college campuses across the United States.
And it's wonderful to see it happen. Genuine revival, a turning back to God, a turning back to the Bible. The Bible is now a best-selling book again, and it's wonderful. It's being led by young men, and what an incredible thing. It gives me hope for the future and hope for our country.